I'd like to give you a framework for how to approach working with your emotions, stress, maybe even some deeper layers that you know you need to process through on a day-to-day practical level. What can I actually do so that I feel like I know what to do and move forward without just hoping I can attend, a week-long retreat somewhere in the future, which might never happen. So there's three layers to it. It's what can I do consistently, techniques or practices I can use during my day-to-day life, then things I can apply when I can carve out 10 to 15 minutes or so to myself, trying to make a consistent practice with that. And then when I sense there's something a little deeper that needs some support. So this first layer is almost like your emotional posture, right? Just like your physical posture, how you're carrying yourself during the day. There are going to be habitual patterns, ways you hold your body, ways you relate to the people around you. If you practice your physical posture and breathing, you're going to process the stress in your body more effectively and have different relationship, different feeling in your body. It's the same with your emotions. Right? Of course, your physical posture is good to work on for that too, because it's not like they're these completely separate things. But your emotional posture is, what do I do with the stresses, the little micro tensions and aggressions and things that happen during the day? The most common default response is we just sort of suppress it and it builds up because you can't be yelling at people all day or we don't know what to do with it. So a few approaches I like that I think serve as great foundational postures. There's a guy named Michael Singer. He's more of a spiritual teacher, but he has a very clear relax and release approach, very simple and direct. Sedona method is a similar thing. A guy named David Hawkins talking about letting go. These are a foundational practice that I like. You can look them up on YouTube, practice them for free. What they essentially do is help you develop a practice where when an emotion comes in, instead of your only options being, okay, can't deal with that now, suppress it, or express it, which could get you fired or in a fight, is, oh, I can practice feeling it, recognizing it's here, not trying to push it away, but letting the experience in the body be a little more felt, tuned into perhaps a breath, and feeling that emotion move through the body, and eventually you start to feel it release. This is something you can do without doing anything, without saying anything. No one knows you're doing it. So you can be standing in the checkout line. You can be getting feedback that you find uncomfortable. And you will find as you practice it that, okay, at least I am able to process this more and more in the moment and bring the levels of stress down. Now, when you combine this with the next layer, level 2, this is carving out 10 to 15 minutes, more if you can, but something you find manageable, and say, I'm going to dedicate a little bit of extra time to focus on a specific practice that helps me work through the emotions and feel into my body a little more. Right? If you give it that extra bonus time, right, combined with the little releasing during the day, this bonus time or this dedicated time will have a chance to really go a couple layers deeper instead of just knocking off that top layer of compounded stress all day. So during this time, obviously, if you look at my channel, I do a lot of EFT tapping. I'm a clinical EFT facilitator, which means I've studied an approach to it that's been used in studied clinical settings, found to be useful for reducing stress. So that's a technique I like because it's going to intentionally feel into your body, bring up what's troubling you during the day, help you speak through it, and engage physical touch into the body. So you're getting somatic, you're getting a lot of different layers. So I like it. You can use videos obviously there's a lot of videos on my channel, but there's a whole boatload of guided tappings online on YouTube. And there's other practices, of course, plenty of other people you might like. But the point of this video is to say, okay, carving out that time to give a little bit of focused releasing and processing. It's definitely going to be good for you. It's the rewards massively outweigh the time commitment, especially if you're able to be consistent. Now, if you're doing that, if you are practicing releasing and you feel like you've got a good handle on that, and you're also tapping through things or working through things with the processes of your choice, and there's certain areas of your life, certain patterns, certain emotions, etc., that are just not budging, that's the time to say, okay, how can I get some further support on this, right? If it's an online community that's centered around the technique you use, or like, they exist with EFT, for example, and saying, okay, can I get some support? Is there a friend that also does this, that can at least be there with me and just tap with me so I can, have that extra energy, have that extra space? If you feel or start to get a sense that this is related to something really traumatic or really intense, then I would highly advise you to not start there with someone that you don't really have a rapport with yet, or you don't know for certain has some level of experience dealing with trauma, because there are important things to know about that. So someone's not just nudging you or saying, oh, just keep breathing into that, keep going, when it's not appropriate. So if you sense that, of course, back off as well. You never want to be pushed into anything. But there are certain things you're going to hit on, at least it still does for me and pretty much everyone I talk to, where you'll hit a point and go, I don't think I can get to this on my own. I can take the edge off, but there's something under here that would really, really benefit from having that extra layer of support, right? So it's that consistent posture during the day, Michael Singer, releasing, David Hawkins, etc. Something you find, even if it's a breathing technique, that, okay, I can use that in my day-to-day life, take the edge down. Can I find something, videos I like, a guided exercise I like, that I can be consistent with? 10, 15 minutes, that's going to have a lot of rewards in terms of going layers deeper. And then when I'm doing that and I'm hitting onto things that need support, it's worth the investment, time, money, whatever it needs to be in most cases, to actually deal with that. Because if you're sensing there's something consistent there, that could be affecting in a lot of ways. And I've done things where I've tried to work on things for so long, and then I work with one colleague, I'm like, oh wow, I should have reached out to them sooner. So hope that framework helps. Hope you find it useful. If you have any questions, of course, just let me know. All right, talk to you next time.